Hello everyone, welcome to the channel and my name is Rohit. Today we will be covering the belief cycle that decides whether your life climbs or sinks. So let's get started. Your life is not only shaped by what happens to you. That part matters more than some people want to admit. Your family, money, education, health, country, timing, environment, and early experiences all influences the starting point. Pretending everyone begins from the same place is dishonest. But there is another layer most people ignore because it is harder to see. Your beliefs shape how you respond to what happened, and your responses shape what happens next. That is where the cycle begins. Beliefs create expectations, expectations shape behavior, behavior produces results, results reinforces beliefs. Then the loop runs again. This cycle is operating in your money, health, relationships, career, business, confidence, and stress level right now. The cycle itself is neutral, the direction is not. Point is downward and it keeps proving why nothing changes. Point is upward and it starts building evidence that more is possible. Your belief do not stay in your head. A belief is not just a sentence you privately agree with. It is a filter. It decides what you notice, what you ignore, what you attempt, how hard you try, how quickly you quit, and what meaning you attach to the result. If you believe the system is against you, that belief will change your expectations. You expect effort to waste it, that expectation changes your behavior. You apply less, you ask less, pitch less, improve less, risk less, follow up less. Then your results stay limited, and the limited results feel like proof. See, I was right. But the belief did not merely observe the result, it helped produce it. That is the dangerous part. A negative belief can become self confirming without ever feeling irrational. It feels like you are responding to reality. Sometimes you are, but sometimes you are responding to a version of reality your belief already edited. The same mechanism can work the other way. If you believe I can improve this, you do not need total confidence. You only need enough belief to attempt the next move. So you take action. You learn something, maybe the result is small, but it is real. That result becomes evidence. The evidence strengthens the belief. The stronger belief creates more action. Same cycle, different direction. Your inner baseline pulls you back. Everyone has an inner baseline. It is the level of life that feels normal to you. Not necessarily good, normal. That baseline can exist around money, health, relationship, calm, success, confidence, visibility, effort, and even stress. If you grew up around financial struggle, a certain level of money stress may feel familiar. If you grew up around conflict, peace may feel suspicious. If you spend years seeing yourself as the person who always falls behind, stability may feel unnatural even when you finally start creating it. You may consciously want more, but part of you still moves towards what feels known. That is why a person can improve their diet for a few weeks and slowly return to the old pattern. Income rises when somehow expenses rise and risk increases until the person lands back at the old level. A healthy relationship appears and instead of relaxing into it, the person start testing, doubting, provoking or withdrawing. Life becomes calm and they create a new emergency. From the outside, it looks irrational. From the inside, it feels like returning to familiar ground. This is where you have to separate familiar from good. Familiar is not proof that something belongs in your life. It is only proof that your nervous system recognizes it. Information does not automatically raise the baseline. This is why more information often fails. You read the book, you watch the podcast, you buy the course, you learn the framework. For a few days, you feel like a different person. Then life pulls you back to the same reaction. Same spending, same avoidance, same relationship pattern, same stress loops, same excuses with better vocabulary. The problem is not that information is useless. Information can help you see the mechanism, but information does not become transformation until it changes behavior. A person can understand money and still avoid looking at their account. A person can understand fitness and still keep choosing the old food when tired. A person can understand communication and still punishes people with silence. A person can understand confidence and still avoid every movement that would build it. Knowledge gives you language. Repeated behavior gives you evidence. And identity follows evidence far more often than it follows language. Some people hear an argument about belief and immediately reject it because they think it means everything is a mindset problem, whereas it does not. Your, comes, your circumstances are real. A person born into stability is not starting from the same place as someone born into chaos. Access matters, health matters, money matters, geography matters, education matters, discrimination and unfair system can matter. You do not need to deny any of that to take responsibility for your response. There are two layers. Outer layer, what you were given. Inner layer, how you interpret and respond to what you were given. You may not control the first layer, you often have more influence over the second layer than your old story admits. That is the honest position. Not anything is possible if you believe. That is childish. The better position is your constraints are real, but your interpretation and behavior still matter inside those constraints. And sometimes that small space of agency is enough to change the entire direction of the cycle. Fault looks back, responsibility looks forward. This distinction saves people years. Fault asks, who caused this? Responsibility asks, what am I going to do about it now? Something can genuinely not be your fault and still be your responsibility to deal with. That can feel unfair because it is unfair. But fairness is not the same as leverage. If the problem belongs completely to your past, your parents, your employer, your partner, the economy, the system, or your circumstances, then the solution appears to live completely outside you. You can explain your pain perfectly and still have no usable move. Blame gives explanation, responsibility gives leverage. Responsibility does not mean you caused everything. It means you are choosing to own the part that can still be acted on. The question changes from who made this happen to given that this happened, what can I do from here? That question brings your hand back to the wheel. Treat your limit as hypothesis. One of the most expensive sentence in your life is this is impossible for me. Sometimes it may be true, but most people use it long before they have enough evidence. Try a different sentence. I do not know yet whether this is possible for me. That small change matters because it turns a verdict into a hypothesis. A verdict ends experimentation. A hypothesis invites testing. If you say, I cannot earn more, the case is closed. If you say, I do not know yet what it would take for me to earn more, now you can test new skill, new offer, new environment, new mentor, new volume of attempts, new positioning, and new room. If you say, I am bad at relationship, the case is closed. If you say, I do not know yet the what pattern I keep repeating, now you can observe. If you say, I am not disciplined, the case is closed. If you say, I do not know yet what conditions help me keep promises, now you can design. You do not need certainty before action. You need reasonable experiment. You do not need the perfect belief. People wait until they fully believe in themselves before they act. That is backward. Full belief usually comes after evidence. You only need a belief strong enough to create the next useful behavior. Not, I know this will work. Try this. This might improve if I test it seriously. And that is enough. Enough to send the message, enough to apply, enough to train, enough to have conversation, enough to open the numbers, enough to make the offer. Then reality gives you feedback. Maybe the action works, good. Now you have evidence. Maybe it fails, still useful. Now you have information. Either way, you are no longer trapped inside theory. You are in motion, and motion gives the belief cycles something new to work with. The gap between decision and action is where the old life returns. A lot of change dies in the gap. You decide to act, then you wait. The old belief wakes up and start negotiating. Maybe tomorrow, maybe after more research, maybe when things calm down, maybe when you feel more confident, maybe when the timing is perfect. The longer you wait, the more opportunities your old baseline has to pull you back. So shorten the gap. When you identify a reasonable next action, start as soon as practical. Not the whole transformation, the first concrete move. Open the document, send the message, book the appointment, write the number down, walk for 10 minutes, ask the question, make the call. You are not trying to solve your whole life in one heroic push. You are interrupting the old cycle before it completes another lap. Small action matters because it creates new evidence, and new evidence is how the cycle changes direction. The 7-day test. Do this for the next 7 days. Pick three areas where you regularly blame the system, your past, another person, your environment, or your circumstances. For each one, write the problem clearly. Then ask, has blaming this ever produced the result I actually wanted? If the honest answer is no, separate fault from responsibility. Write what was not your fault. Then write what is now your responsibility. Not everything, just the part you can touch. Then choose one concrete action, something small enough to do today. Not fix my life. Send one application, review one account, have one conversation, make one offer, train once, clean the room, ask for help, block an hour, remove one trigger. Take the action and record what happened. The record matters because your old belief will try to erase small evidence. It will say the action did not count. It was too easy, too late, too small, too ordinary. Let it be small. Small is where the cycle start turning. The direction is being chosen every day. Your beliefs are not floating above your life. They are participating in it. A limiting belief creates low expectations. Low expectation reduce actions. Reduced action produce poor results. Poor results reinforces the limiting belief. That is one direction. A useful belief creates better expectation. Better expectation create action. Action creates result. Result strengthen the belief. That is the other direction. Neither cycle needs your permission to run. It is already running. The question is whether you will keep feeding the one that explains your life or start feeding the one that changes it. So, today, do not try to convince yourself that anything is possible. That is too broad to be useful. Pick one limit and treat it like a hypothesis. Separate what was not your fault from what is now your responsibility. Find the smallest action that tests the old belief. Then do it before the old story has time to rebuild itself. Your life does not climb because you think positive thoughts. It climbs when your beliefs produce action that create evidence worth believing. If you found this content helpful, please give a comment and let me know what kind of topic you want me to cover next. Thank you for watching. Until then, see you in the next video.